I'm Kira858, and we're back for our, still, I would say, brand new campaign, Reclamation Season 1, Episode 19. We're glad to have you with us as we continue the story of House Chiron. We're going to jump into the session, but first, let's introduce our cast and have them say who they are, who they're playing, and any projects they're working on. And I think it's about time for one of our classic curveballs. We're going to start first with Ari. Would you like to talk about yourself, who you're playing your projects?
I was completely unprepared. Hi, I'm Ari. I am playing Shay, the wizard, who does not want to do the war, but finds himself surrounded by the war. You can find me here, of course, and then over on Reese channel, Rerolls, and then the Bear Pen. I am on the internet at Small Shadow Snack. Come for the possum, stay for all of the other marsupials.
Perfect. Next, we have the wonderful Ree. You'd like to talk about yourself, who you're playing, and projects you're working on.
Don't go this early. Hello, everyone. I am at Big Dude Ree on Twitter and all the other social medias. I am also the DM for Rerolls. We should definitely check out, where we get to do a bunch of cool, fun, and exciting games over there. But tonight I get to play the Elder of the House, Krashad, and I am leading my family into war and devastation, and money.
And money.
Money as well.
Yeah, you should hear the conversations that took place before we started recording. Safe to say, war crimes may be in order. Next,
I am a soldier.
we have the wonderful Aries, aka Adrian. You'd like to talk about yourself, who you're playing, and projects you're working on.
Ayo, I am Adrian, or Aries, and I am playing Jethrin Cloudpaw, the Leonin Paladin, and you can find me on the interwebs at the Adrian Bear on Twitter, and I am a player here in a few things, and also over on the Bear Pen, where I am the storyteller for Thala Unbound and Blood on the Bayou, which is now in our book 3, which is going to be a lot of fun, and I don't really have anything new-ish in the works just yet, but maybe later during the summer.
Oh, okay. All right. Next, we're going to go over with our fantastic DM, Zach. You'd like to talk about yourself, who you're playing, and projects you're working on.
As once and as always, I am your DM. My name is Your Worst Nightmare. Look into my eyes and see reflected the deepest fears of your soul. Have a good game.
Perfect. What an introduction. Next, we have the wonderful Ty. Welcome back. We'd like to talk about yourself, who you're playing, projects you're working on.
Yes, hi, I'm Di. You can find me on Twitter at Reclamation. You can see me on Fridays over at the Bear Pen. You can find me on Mondays over on Rerolls. And tonight I'm playing Mare, who is she's not gonna commit a war crime for love. We'll see where that ends up.
Definitely siblings, I see. Definitely siblings, I see.
You would do anything for love, but you won't do that.
That is.
I see what you did there. Everyone coming in with the songs, I swear. And of course, we have the wonderful Randy. You'd like to talk about yourself, who you're playing, and projects you're working on.
Hi, my name is Rin. I will be playing someone both intimidated and very conflicted about everything that is going on here. Also known as Timmons, our best butler, who had a very interesting experience last session. So it should be very interesting to see what that looks like this session.
Okay, all right. As for yours truly, I am Kira858. I play the Sweet Bean Abrea, who's probably the youngest individual on the battlefield, but they have a dinosaur. Of course, you can be able to find all of our content listed here on YouTube at the Cookout TTRPGs, as well as our Twitch page, the Kira858. Of course, we will see in the near future. We have a brand new campaign coming out called Parts Unknown, which is our first sci-fi project dedicated in the TTRPG, in the Cookout TTRPG. So looking forward to that. And of course, as you've been paying attention to our Twitter, you would have saw that we have announced our brand new campaign, Marvel's The New Vanguard, which is superheroes utilizing the playtest rules from the Marvel playtest book. So again, keep an eye out for all of that content and more on our Twitter page at Kira858, as well as the Cookout TTRPGs. And with that, I'm going to hurry up and transition this because I want to dive right in here. So with that, Zach, take it away.
Last we left off on the things that we last left off on. Today's episode, of course, will be titled, "A Crime is Only Criminal If One is Caught."
I'm into it.
The moment that we left off on was when Prince Murdoch approached you all and told you all that there's some kind of magical net that's been cast over the castle. What would you like to do?
Can you tell us where this net is coming from?
Sort of. They seem to be hidden somehow, but one of the Griffin riders was able to get up into the air and see that they have some kind of altars that they've moved into place around the castle. Some sort of strange devices made of marble or some kind of polished stone. Unfortunately, the Griffin Rider probably won't be able to get up and about again without suffering from a storm of arrows. So our information is going to be limited.
May be able to do something about that. But first, I believe there are formal introductions. And I will assume that the others are nearby at the moment.
They are.
I will gesture to them. My king, this is the people we are speaking to you about. And I imagine Kashad would know what the formal address would be in this situation for both sides to do so respectfully, but my knowledge of medieval etiquette is lacking. But Kashad will be as respectful as he can. These are a small portion of the people that were agreeing to assist us. The current situation has changed plans a bit, and they did have a few things they wanted to discuss with you formally. But I believe there may be more important things to discuss for the moment.
They make introductions to each other. I'm not going to go through all of that specifically, but it takes a couple of minutes. Prince Murdoch's current new title is Uncrowned King Vestania, which is his family name. And so they make introductions to each other, and the essence of the conversation that you get is that Triardon, who seems to be leading the conversation on behalf of the Justicarian parties, suggests that the anticipated conversations will need to wait until the immediate matter is resolved.
Right. We need to determine our next course of action. It appears that leaving will be impossible, and I do not believe that anyone can send out any missives at the moment, though I cannot speak for your Excellency's abilities.
Your Highness, addressing Murdoch, how are the soldiers holding up? How is morale within the keep?
Well, we have food for a couple months. It's always good to know that your belly is going to be okay for the next little while. After that, I imagine we'll start to see problems, but none as of yet within the ranks.
That's good to hear. Trier Delilah, have you had any experience with this form of magic and these altars that His Highness has described?
Not in specific. Excuse me, you'll have to give me some time. And you see she begins to walk away from you, sort of chanting incantations as she goes. You gather she's up to something, but seems rather reluctant to explain herself at the moment.
Wizards.
So you said that if somebody went to go look, they'll get shot with arrows? What if it was something small, like a hawk? Do you think they'll get noticed?
Well, I suppose that would depend on if we get lucky or not.
Okay, I could give it a try. It shouldn't really hurt, I don't think.
Oh, Brea, your abilities, are they always avian in nature? I've seen you summon a hawk and an owl, but are you able to perhaps summon something else?
Oh yeah, there's other animals if you have a better idea.
Well, it's not unknown for rodents to plague campsites.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Wait, they're not as fast though, but I could do that.
How long are you able to keep the creature corporeal?
Oh, for a long time now. I could do it for about 3 to 4 hours.
Should be enough
I
time.
think that would be a good starting point.
Okay. And they're going to sit down, and as you see these nature runes just wrap around them, it almost looks like two circles with nature runes in between. And as you do so, you just see this rat disappear right on their lap. And they look down to the rat. It's like, okay, you have a very important job. Wait, what's the job?
Hold on a moment.
Okay.
You all see what happens as Abrea has described, except that as you wait, no rat appears. The magic activates and seems to go successfully. You should subtract the spell slot, but the rat never actually appears.
Oh, that's a wild shape companion. So fortunately, there's no spell used for that one. But
Mark the ability.
Yeah. Okay, that is weird.
I think I understand. You're attempting to bring something from outside inside.
Oh, I thought the problem was just inside out.
We are inside.
Nothing can get in.
Is the summoning a form of a communication between yourself and these beings?
I guess, I would like conjuring magic and have it appear in front of me. So I guess I can't be able to create. Uh-oh. Well, that's a problem. Because that's...
Indeed.
I suppose it makes sense. It would not do to allow your enemies to conjure allies out of nothing.
Mr.
But it would also
DM.
mean that they can't do more.
Ren, did you say something?
I did.
Okay.
Mr. DM, can I ask something, please?
Sure.
I would like to, as subtly as possible, do the light cantrip on my own hands. Like, not for the light, but to see, does it light at all? And then immediately extinguish if it does. Like, I'm trying to see, is this magic nullification? Or is it that we couldn't that we can't contact out, and that's why it didn't work.
Excellent question. Give me one.
It is technically a
light-
creation effect.
The light cantrip functions as expected.
Okay, so there's just a tiny bit of prismatic light that's just like coloring the tips of her fingers for a second, and then it's gone.
Well,
Well, first, we need to determine how we should move forward.
Yeah, like some of my best magic uses being able to pull from like different planes. So, my conjuration abilities are going to be very limited.
What time of day is it, DM?
It is mid-morning, so assume
Mid-morning.
around about 9 to 11.
Your Highness, when they do attempt any sorties against the keep, is there a pattern to it? A preferred time that they like to try and strike at?
Well, what's worrying is that they actually haven't attempted anything at all as of yet. They seem content to just wait around and attempt to starve us out. At least that's what it looks like.
Are you aware of any underground exits to this keep?
I have men searching. They haven't been able to find anything other than the sewage system, though I naturally have mages and guards posted watching it for magic and mundane means of ingress and egress.
People able to see invisible things or verify that no one has already entered this place.
I believe some of the mages have that power.
Alright. And I trust the king, but I'm gonna trust but verify. I'm gonna use see invisibility just to make sure there's nothing. Things just around. Mainly looking for scrying sensors.
You do not see any scrying sensors aside from the one that is traditionally on no name yet that you try to avoid.
No, look at that one is. Alright,
You do-
We need.
Hold on. You also see an imp that is invisible and seems to be flying next to Delia. And that's all.
Does it seem to be hiding from Delilah or just kind of by them?
Well, what you would notice is that it seems to be following her.
I will make a note.
Hey there, Delilah, there's an imp behind your shoulder.
Oh, wait. And they're going to look around to see if they can find a rodent by chance. Anywhere, somewhere around the castle or the keep.
A rodent inside of a castle. That seems probable. Let's see. Go ahead and roll me animal handling.
Okay.
See if you can find one.
Yeah.
Find one or coax one to you.
Perfect. I forgot I had this spell.
While they're doing that,
So that was a natural 19, so that'd be a 27.
Okay.
nice.
So they will look towards the rat and be like, okay, I have a special mission for you. I'm going to look through your eyes, and can you take a look outside and see what's going on? And then when you come back, I'll give you cheese.
A mission is cheese. Special mission is double cheese. Half now, half later. Yep.
Okay. And then they'll definitely grab it to their backpack and pull out like a little slice of cheese. Like, here you go. Of course you deserve it. Like half now, half later. That makes sense.
So what's the mission?
Okay, give me 1 second. And they'll look over to the others. Where do we want to send them to go take a look?
Your Highness, the location of the altar that had been scouted, where would be the closest?
A heading of about southeast.
Okay, so would it take you southeast, and then it'll look over. Okay, and when you two go southeast, just make sure to take a look, and then when you head southeast, you see anything that looks like a big block, or maybe something that looks like energy. How do I explain this? What will an altar look like? What does it look like?
A stone
block. Stone block. So and they'll we for the first time perform a minor illusion of a stone block. It'll be like kind of like this. If you see something that looks like this, just keep looking around and then come back.
There might be people in robes or close to it.
There might be people in robes and such.
Yummy cheese. So good. Yeah, I need more later. Yeah. Gotta do mission. Gonna do it right now. What's south?
South, and they'll pick up the rodent and put it towards the direction of southeast. And be like, this way forward, and then they'll cast beast sense. So therefore, they could be able to look through the eyes and hearing of the creature.
South is a wall. Okay, and you see the creature starts to scuttle its way over towards the wall.
Yeah, and then over, keep going, and just keep going, and then, yeah. Until you see the stone.
Young Master Abrea, if you don't mind, I could probably give your new friend a lift at least to the top of the wall, if not down the other side.
Oh, they can't respond now because they're deaf.
Young Master Abrea? Young Master... Okay. Well, if you'll excuse me, Mr. Kashad, I'm going to pick up said rat and get that rat as close to the altar as I can.
Yeah, that sounds super, super cool. Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check.
Cool. I mean, my sleight of hand's not bad. Let's see. That is 17.
You're able to capture the rat.
Nice. It's slightly easier. I'm like looking at the rat now, talking to it as I move. It is slightly easier to catch you when you are moving in a straight line. Thank you very much.
Oh, Tibbets. Oh, I didn't know you were there.
I guess I don't hear that because I'm already moving away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a very weird, like one-sided conversation for both participants.
Yep. So if you were to talk to the rat, I would hear you, but if you were to talk to me, I wouldn't hear you. It's so weird.
Do you have a climbing speed?
The rat? Yeah, the rat.
No, Timmons.
Oh.
Because of my monk stuff, let me double check.
And run up walls.
I have to see which level I am for which trait I have for that.
I know they're fast. I'm trying to figure out how they intend to get up this wall. To the peanut gallery, not to name any names.
Wait, what? What happened?
Huh?
What happened? Oh. Let me just bring up the rat stat real quick.
I do not have the up walls running yet.
So you're gonna give me an acrobatics check to try to parkour your way up?
Yeah, that feels
Okay.
That feels good.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it.
I know that I'm going to do this.
I hate you. Yes, you can have guidance.
It's my new thing. I gotta do it.
Ooh, I get blind sight. Wow. Okay.
I don't know if that
Wait,
rolled
no,
or
it's not
not.
right.
Oh, that is without guidance. For the record, that 25 is without guidance.
Okay, we'll roll with guidance.
Ugh.
Well, I'll do it for you.
Oh, thank you. Even though I got
All right, you got a
a
28.
Woo!
So, Bray, you watch through the senses of the rat as Timmons says a prayer, and you see an extra burst as she's about to lose her footing on one of the rocks, and it seems to just, slip towards the perfect place to get a little bit of extra purchase to push her way up this wall.
Oh, my equilibrium. Oh, what was that prayer? I didn't know she prays. Okay. Ooh, wow.
And on Timmons' side, when I get to the top, there's just like this. All right, Cheddar, do be quiet. Let's see if we can get down. I want to peek over the wall to see, is there either one, a good place I can lob Cheddar or safely put Cheddar, or two, is there a way that I can get closer myself?
Cheddar.
Well, there
So give me
seems
a
to be a campfire of enemy guards that are kind of sitting around. They seem to be eating some kind of stew. And they notice you as you pop your head over the battlements, but they don't seem to be making any sort of moves directly.
Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna let Cheddar.
Give me a perception check.
Okay.
Rats can 100% climb up brick walls.
Yeah. Yeah, they got some skills.
Rats are magic.
That was a 6.
Rats are magical.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people at that camp. You think 6 of them?
All right. Cheddar, as you were, and just puts Cheddar down, trying to face the same heading. So it's still southeast. I'm just gonna put Cheddar down, and then I'm just going to walk the edge of the wall for a little bit so I can watch Cheddar and also see if I can see other altars or something, big stuff.
Go ahead and roll me a stealth check for this rat, Abrea.
Okay. Ooh, they got a decent stealth. Okay. All right. 15.
So you watch this rat that seems to be having a good job of making its way down the wall on its own. Seems to have good climbing ability. And you see it, sensing all of these people, starts to get a little bit skittish and attempts to hide as it moves its way through the camp and is blasted to death by a firebolt. You watch through the eyes as this tiny little mote of fire just comes in right between your eyes.
Ooh. Well, that
Was I able to see where that came from?
Well, I'm gonna say no.
Fair enough.
Because even if you were watching, your perception was not all that great, since there's, obviously it's just that there's so much to see. I mean, there's camps everywhere of this, the enemy sieging the castle, so there's just so much to focus your eyes on.
There's a quiet, I removed my eyes for 1 second.
What was I able to gather anything before they were detected, or was it just immediately when they came forward, it was gone? Like, did I see how many people there were, or what was surrounding it, or was this immediate?
You saw a couple of camps. You can make me a perception check at Abrea's bonus,
Okay.
but at disadvantage.
Oh, okay. All
Because
right.
you're trying to perceive through the eyes of the rat.
All right. Disadvantage. Okay. All right. So the lower roll was a 12, so that'd be a synthetic 20. No, 21. Sorry, 21.
That's still pretty good. You notice at the camp, there's a mage, an archer, a knight, and a couple of lightly armored warriors that you probably, since you did spend some time as a squire before you all started doing all of this traveling, you probably can recognize as what someone would call a footman, just like lightly equipped with a sword and a shield and some leather armor. 3 of those warriors, an archer, a mage, and a knight in full plate mail.
Okay.
And the mage seems to be extremely perceptive, because as the rat is trying to sneak around their camp, they very articulately blast it with a firebolt. And that's what you see. You saw a couple of other camps. The immediately adjacent camps, neither of those two seem to have a mage in them.
Okay. So to make sure I got this right, it was a mage who was extremely perceptive, an archer, a knight, and 3 footmen in that location. And then there also seemed to be a couple of camps around them besides just that one before they got blasted.
Yeah, adjacent. It's kind of hard to tell from the rat's perspective, but you see pretty well. So the camps are about 20 feet apart in either direction, and those 2 other camps that are adjacent to the one that you tried to sneak through, those are all footmen with 1 archer at each camp.
One archer.
So in that 60-foot sphere of influence, there's 1 mage, 3 archers, 1 knight, and a bunch of footmen.
Okay. So after they kind of like rub their eyes, I mean, they're kind of used to it because they remember being in a cave and how their hawk and owl constantly got filleted by like the Sphinx and then the traps and everything else in between. Like, oh, okay. Oh, well, this one, I don't know. Okay. I was able to get, you was not going to make it back to get this cheese. There was a mage really good at seeing things. Like the rat was pretty stealthy and they was able to see them right away. And there was a knight and then 3 footmen at the main archer, at the main location. And then there's 2 camps adjacent to it, but they only have an archer and the rest were footmen.
So this is the southwestern portion of the wall where Miss Timmons headed.
So there's 3 camps total.
Well, you did a wonderful job, Abrea. I feel bad for the rat, but you know, it was a very good call about the scouting. I wonder if we're gonna have to end up trying to do this ourselves.
Perhaps. I kind of give I walk over and sort of put an arm around Abrea. I'm sorry about your friend, the rat.
He was doing really good. But that mage was really smart. We have to be, if he's that perceptive, he must be really powerful. So we have to be really careful. Because the rat was really good. Not even the archer saw him, but the mage did. So that tells you something.
Indeed. Perhaps we need to find a way to distract or eliminate the mage completely.
Definitely the biggest threat, I think.
Your Highness, is there anywhere or anything in particular that you would like us to take care of in these hours? As far as planning for trying to get a better look at these altars, personally, I would prefer the cover of darkness.
I think we all would. For the moment right now, a few of my officers are just instructing some of the men on siege tactics. It's not something that you do drills for every day in the army, so it's brushing people up on their knowledge. I think a few of the mages are trying to prepare some magical defenses. We're severely outnumbered in terms of magical firepower at the moment. And he kind of like turns to Charadon, says, not offending your companions, but we're severely outnumbered. You see some smug looks from the ranks of the Justicarian bodyguards, but they otherwise don't say anything. He's like, other than that, it's a siege.
What do you intend to do? Do you wish to end this conflict here and now, or simply escape to fight another day?
That's a complicated question. I don't really want to be here without backup. It's not a very good position. I don't really want to give up all of the ground that we've made either. I was hoping that we could hold out until we get some reinforcements from the capital. I'm sure that they're working on it.
Unfortunately, I cannot share your confidence, my king.
These things take time, but I'm sure they're working on it. Well, why can you not share my confidence?
Kashad would like to test something as well. Are my abilities blocked? I would like to attempt to communicate with the king directly with my... What's it called? Psionic speak? Mind speak? What was it? Telepathic speak. There it is. Telepathy, because I'm special.
I'm special.
What would you like to try to say?
Fortunately, it appears that there may be political moves happening.
He responds through the link, which you're able to create successfully. I really wish you would stay out of my head, but what do you mean?
I was very briefly able to speak to Lady Bright Weaver, and it appears that both Robin and the Married King are making political plays with the council. I have not been able to hear the direct details, but I believe it is not too much of an exaggeration to believe that they are expecting for you to fall here.
He pauses for a moment, and then you see you hear him respond through the link, and he says, "My sister wouldn't do that." And you distinctly note that he doesn't say a word about his father. But he does respond, "My sister would."
Be that as it may, we may be unable to receive any backup. Lady Brightweave also does not have spellcasters of enough power to be useful without losing a considerable number of them.
I'm sure they could be found elsewhere in the kingdom. We would just need to rally the call to arms. It would take time to have them come to the capital, form a unit, and receive basic training, but I'm sure it would be possible.
Well, then our first order of business has to be to restore communications with everyone else.
Indeed. And I'm beginning to think that I need to be at the capital so I can be the one making these calls.
Yes, we will do everything we can. And then he will speak aloud normally. Do we know how many of these altars are in place?
The final message he relays to you through the link is, but if I'm to go back to the capital, I'll need a proper commander of appropriate standing to remain here to command the siege. And then you see he looks at you very knowingly as you speak to the rest of the crowd. And Prince Murdoch checks with, or, Uncrowned King Murdoch checks with a couple of his men, and they say that they know there's at least one to the southwest, but they don't know exactly how many there are. They haven't found the other ones. They seem to be placed not right next to the castle, but they seem operable from like a mile or two away.
What?
One quick question. Do we have clerics here?
We do have Triadon.
I suppose we do have me. And then Uncrowned King responds, and he says that there are a couple of them, but not nearly so many as what he would want.
Okay, in that case, could you give me some diamonds just in case somebody gets really injured? I could try to bring them back, but I need some diamonds to make sure I can do it.
Sorry, cousin. I'm afraid our supply line is fresh out of diamonds at the moment.
Oh. Okay, well, no one can die, pretty please, because I can't bring you back without diamonds.
She'll do our best.
Not dying is a good strategy.
I ruffle Rhea's hair affectionately.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll me a luck check, Abrea.
What do I add for that?
that is going to be a D100.
Okay. Gotcha. So I'm using these new Dracona dice. They're beautiful, by the way. I'll just show them for screen. I have to advertise them technically on Twitter anyway, but these things are absolutely beautiful.
Very pretty.
Yeah, they're very pretty. And so they've been doing me some decent luck this episode. We shall see.
Come on.
What is? Okay, so that's 77. Yeah, 77.
There's a one of the soldiers actually comes to you and he says, well, I hate to do this, but you are a family with the king, so if you need to purchase this or perhaps have it and repay me later, here's the diamond ring that I was going to use to propose to my girlfriend, but I imagine it's going to be a little while before I get the chance. Maybe you can use it to save someone's life.
You know Zek's gonna kill the soldier, right?
Well, thank you. Thank you. Please don't get hurt. I will use it on you because you. Thank you for giving this to me. But could somebody warn me if he gets hurt? Because I want to make sure he stays alive to give this to his girlfriend. Thank you so much for this.
No problem. We're never gonna get through this if good men don't do their jobs, right?
What is your name, soldier?
Me? He looks a little bit surprised.
Well, somebody who's willing to risk something like that deserves recognition, don't you think?
Oh, I'm one of the siege weapons techs. My name's John.
Well met, John.
I've sorry, my lady. You were saying?
I just wanted to know the name of your girlfriend.
Oh, it's Carla.
Carla.
If you all will be excusing me, I don't mean to be rude, but the men on the catapults have a tendency to screw things up if I'm not around, so I really probably should be getting going. Sorry.
Well, no worries. Thanks again. And if you feel in danger, please let us know. We would definitely use this ring on you if you feel like something's bad about to happen, because you need to see your girlfriend.
Thanks. Hope I will soon.
They smile and take the ring and then jab it into their component pouch. Okay. So I can bring back somebody back, one person back if they die.
It's a last resort.
Last resort. Please don't think about that. I just wanted to make sure we had that option, but everyone please think about staying alive.
Just a quick question. This man's tabard isn't red, is it?
Roll me a perception check. No. His tabard does not appear to be.
Okay.
His tabard does not seem to be specifically red. He's wearing the colors of Hastastania.
Good to know. Good.
Cool. I will communicate with the king secretly again. I do not know how much you wish to trust the people around us, but I have gained a bit of a new ability that may be of use to us. Are there any weaponry or anything that we do not have at current that we could use?
I suppose we could always use more weapons, but what do you mean exactly?
Kishon to explain this. It is a long story, my king, and I do not entirely understand the limits, but I have gained the ability to create things from nothing. Appears to be distinctly different from conjuration.
Can you make a catapult?
I don't think a catapult would fit in a 5x5x5 cube dungeon master, but would it?
You built the sections.
Would it? Could I do it? That would make sense, because the sections. Could I create a catapult, dungeon master?
You don't know. You could definitely build a small one, but a full-size catapult would be on a 10x10 grid.
A trebuchet.
Trebuchet.
What about a ballista? Could I make a ballista? I don't know how big a ballista is.
Yeah,
but
that would
could I
fit in
make
5x5.
a ballista? Does D&D have stats for ballista? I don't know.
Yeah, it does.
No, oh, it does.
Harpoon launchers.
Never tried to make siege weapons before, but I am willing to give it a try.
The ballistae fit in a is it a 5x5?
Ballista
I think it's
large.
still a large object.
Oh, it's large?
I think it's a 5x10.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That's just long. Okay, I see. That makes sense.
Yeah, it would fit in a 5x10.
Would you prefer for me to use this outside of the lines of sight of our new companions?
He responds to you through the link and he says, I'll be honest, if you start summoning siege weaponry from thin air, I'm not sure we're going to be able to keep that from getting around.
Well, I still figured it should still be your call. I will, since I imagine I am a soldier, I've seen these before. I will start with the trebuchet, I guess. Try to make one. Or at least parts of one. I think one big one is far too big for me.
If you want to do it, I'll say you can make the two main parts separately with 2 separate spell slots.
Alright, I'll do that. I'll probably pick a spot where trebuchet could, be. Like, I'm not gonna do it in like a broom closet or whatever, but I'm gonna be defeated by doors, so we'll put it in like an area where that won't be an issue.
Doors are powerful. I mean, I'm just saying.
We need to use 2 more spell slots because I did it in this area. We can't get it to the doorway. But yes, I will.
Where do you want to put it exactly in the castle?
Probably where the other siege weapons are. I imagine there's an area where siege weapons are.
Right now, the castle was built with 2 catapults that are on each of the main walls for a total of 8 of them. One of them was destroyed when they took the castle on the western side. So if you were looking to kind of like even the score, it would be, you'd be wanting it on the western side.
Then we'll go over there. Start beginning to create from nothing.
I would like to just make sure that I'm close to Kashad while he is doing this creation, just in case there's any surprise errors or anything like that. In fact, while Kashad is doing this, I will actually cast Warding Bond on him.
The paladin wants to keep me safe. I feel so special.
You gain a +1 bonus to AC and saving throws, and you have resistance to all damage. And anytime you take damage, I would take the same amount of damage. So you have resistance to all damage right now, and +1 to AC and saving throws.
Alright, okay, let me
just in case, Master Kashad. We cannot be too careful.
This wise.
Is this something that you need to roll for? Like, is this, or can you just make it?
I think I can just do it.
Okay.
I don't know.
He just does it with angel powers.
Okay.
It requires spell slots to actually cast the spell. But the only thing it requires is somatic components. It requires hand gestures, but he doesn't even speak when he does this.
Okay, cool. I just didn't know if this is one of those things where I could give him like inspiration, like, yes, do this. Just wanted to help.
You can, but it won't mechanically affect what's
No, I'm saving those for when it's going to be important.
All right, well, like 15 minutes. So Bray is gonna be like, so okay, so we now know where they are. Do we just go over and attack?
I think we need a plan, and I don't know. I feel like we should discuss the benefits of an outright assault versus something a little more stealthy. Creeping up on them while they sleep.
Okay, well, we're talking about going at nighttime.
Indeed, the mage is what I can tell from what you've said seems like the problem. Perhaps we could focus on how to take them out and go from there.
Well, the mages and the knights are the biggest problems. We have some siege weapons on our side at the moment, which is good because they don't seem to have been able to build any as of yet, although I'm sure they're working on it. But one of the biggest issues, aside from the numbers, is that they have our knights outnumbered 6-1 and our mages outnumbered 20-1.
So, just a point of clarification here. I just read about the components of that. I don't think I would have the components for them just yet, because I need 2 platinum bands worth 50 gold each, which both myself and the other person wear. So, I actually don't think I'd be able to cost that just yet until I manage to get those components.
Do you have the gold?
I do, but I'm saving that for the dogs. But I do have the gold,
Well,
I think.
it's
Well,
up to you.
50
I don't
platinum.
wanna-
50 platinum is 500 gold.
Is it 50 platinum or 50
Oh,
gold?
sorry, no, 50 gold. 50 gold, right? Yeah, I do. They'll cost 100 of my own gold.
So I don't want to push it on you. It's up to you. But I'll say you could have bought them while you're in Jessicar.
Well, it is something that I specifically chose. So if it was possible, then I would have.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll say
alright.
you either
Alright.
we'll say you probably woke up a little bit earlier than everyone else and went out to
All right, there.
find a
I
shop
will
that had such things.
spend that money. So yes, I then would be saying a prayer while holding these rings in both of my hands, and they would glow with a sort of a light teal color for a second, and then I would place one upon one of my fingers, and then I would hand one to Master Kashad. This should last for an hour.
Oh, this was a bit more difficult than I expected, but I believe this should work.
Well,
Oh,
you see some soldiers relay some orders, and as you've kind of got it set up and you're waiting a moment for someone to come deal with assembling the 2 pieces together, you see John, whom you just met a little bit earlier, rushing over, and he's like, oh, another one? Great, something else for this stupid soldiers that minute to break. And he just starts muttering as he's trying to fasten things together and prep the equipment.
well, for now, let's get back to the others and we can begin to plan how we will start to eliminate our opponents.
Very well.
Okay, so it seems like the plan is we wait until nighttime. We try to stealthily approach primarily the mage because he's probably the greatest threat. It's going to be difficult because they're very perceptive. And then after that, we eliminate everyone there.
Trier. My apologies, Master Kashad.
I believe it may be best to ideally attack as many of these places as possible. I don't know the full capabilities of our excellencies, but if we have enough people to coordinate multiple attacks at once, it would help us, one, avoid revealing what we are targeting, and with any luck, it allows us to take out each altar simultaneously and deal some damage to as many mages as possible.
Trigoro, your men seemed quite nigh invisible. Perhaps they would be, if you would be willing, to lend 1 or 2 for a stealth mission.
Roll a persuasion check.
I'm good at those.
I give him advantage.
Do you want to give me advantage? Can you give me advantage?
I would like to. I would like to assist.
Can
if that's
he,
possible.
DM?
I don't know. Are you on board with this plan? Do you think
I am.
you want to ask Trier Goro to use his men to try to carry out a stealth mission?
Yes, Kashad was overall recommending that multiple stealth missions happen at once, so I believe they are very similar plans.
Okay.
I'm not sure I will really need it, but you never know. Oh, that's hilarious. With advantage, natural 19s in both die, +6, so 25.
Hawaiian Nights. That is interesting. I'll tell you what, Mr. Cloudpaw. And you notice specifically that he does not use your knight honorific when addressing you this time. I'll tell you what, you can have as many of my 10 bodyguards as you want. But if I lose any of them, you'll be the one to inform their families.
I have taken these responsibilities before.
As long as you know it's on your heart and not mine.
Very well. Might I also throw in another suggestion here? If we plan to attack all 5 of these altars at once, number 1, we have to find the locations of all of them. Number 2, perhaps myself, being as tall as I am, and Tridon, if you would be willing, or any of our men here as well, we can attempt to perform a distraction.
Oh.
What kind of distraction were you thinking?
Something loud where lots of people die. Not our people, specifically theirs.
Oh.
A reckless charge out the main gate.
Interesting.
To test the enemy's defenses.
It's going to be dangerous. I think you know this, but if we throw the first stone, there's a shot it doesn't stop there. They might decide they can't risk sitting around and waiting anymore.
This is true. This is very true. My thoughts were mostly on trying to divert attention. As much as I would like to be on one of the strike teams, unless there is somebody, and I'm looking around, everyone assembled, who's able to help me not stand out as much, I might be a liability.
Something that I could do about that, but I also admit that my talents were never in sneaking around. Have we
at this point-
verified just how wide this net is?
At this point, Delia returns and she says, well, you've properly angered somebody.
Hey, what? What do we do?
A lot of people.
If I were to attempt to unweave this spell on my own, it would probably take me about a month. Even working together with all 10 of the individuals I brought with me, we'd be sitting around waiting for at least 2 weeks.
We don't have that kind of time.
Is there a way to destroy the spell without unweaving it?
The altars. We just have to destroy the altars.
Any other ways to do it?
If you overwhelm enough of the anchors for the spell, as your or our young friend has stated, that would definitely do it. It's possible that instead of unweaving it, you could try to brutally force enough magic through it to stop it, but that could also be dangerous to those involved in doing so.
Would you have to overwhelm each of the altars, or would only one be necessary?
It's one spell. They seem to be employing some kind of artifacts to augment each other's power and create this comprehensive, powerful, wide-range effect. Destroying even one of them would definitely weaken it, although to completely destroy it, I estimate you'd have to break at least half of them. However many there are. I can't tell.
All right.
Sounds simple enough.
Okay. I'm ready.
Are your mages able to create any large distractions?
I perhaps could, but I'm afraid that sort of talent is rare. Not even amongst my elites do they command such powers.
Of course.
What?
Although,
We need to determine.
I suppose 5 or 10 of them working together is enough to create a distraction. I'd rather not put my soldiers directly at risk, though.
Of course.
We need to determine which teams will be making a movement for these artifacts.
It seems like perhaps we need someone who is stealthy and someone who is magic inclined on each of the teams.
I would also suggest perhaps that we first this evening send out a scouting party to determine the locations of at least a number of these anchor points.
It's going to be difficult getting people out of the castle to do that. We'd need a distraction of some sort just to get the people out of the castle. I'm afraid of sending the Griffin up. We could certainly lose them. Even if they made it out, they wouldn't be able to come back.
Did I hear the mention of the sewer systems earlier?
Yes.
How far out is the exit? What if someone were to go out through the sewer systems and loop back around and approach the siege army from the other side?
Well, it leads into a channel in the moat that flows out into the surrounding area.
Do you think traveling through there would be possible for a small team to circumvent the main army?
It's definitely possible. I seriously doubt that they don't have any people watching that exit. So this small team would at least need to be combat capable in addition to stealthy, so that they could eliminate whatever guards are on the other side.
It's at least a scouting mission to perhaps see how many of these altars there are and nail down their location.
All right. I do not assume to be in charge, but I believe our first order of business is to create ourselves a scouting team. I do not believe flying will be efficient unless we can guarantee that they can't see invisible things. Do we have any more people talented with nature and that school theory of magic?
Not really. Maybe a couple. Those types of individuals tend not to be all that interested in becoming soldiers, for better or worse.
Oh, well, that's why I don't see you that much. That makes sense. Well, what would you like for me to do? I could call animals, or I could change it to one.
Reluctant to call on you for war, Umbrea.
Well, I'm already here. I mean, what else I could? I mean, if I was maybe like back at Darkstar, I'm like, okay. But I'm like, I'm stuck now. So I might as well help where I can.
I have a potential idea as well for the distraction that might be safe-ish to a certain extent, enough to cause an interest on the other side, but not necessarily to have them feel that we are directly assaulting them. Mistress Delilah, Trier Delilah, you mentioned trying to disrupt or throw or brute force an exit from this magical net. Perhaps if an attempt was made to give a convincing enough performance that you are truly attempting to punch a hole in a very visible spectrum, that could be done from within the keep, the safety of the keep, but could be hopefully bright enough to create a distraction.
It's possible, although you'll be putting your soldiers at great risk. If you only have 50 mages here, you'll want as many as possible of them involved. And such a barbaric attempt has a good shot at backlashing on the caster through the process. They might die.
Well, I guess that comes down to the wire here. Do we attempt to do some of this without a distraction? Do we attempt to just send this scouting party first with someone sufficiently combat ready to handle whoever might be guarding the other side of the sewer exit, and then work with the new information?
I believe a distraction will only serve us once. I do not believe it will be effective to do it for the scouting mission. If they start to expect it, it won't be as good at directing their attention.
Indeed, I'm not sure we have enough information to really put together a full frontal attack that will be successful at this current moment.
Well, at least we can take care of one. Or if you want me to investigate the others, I can just change it to a badger, and then I'll just dive underground and no one will be able to see me.
That is very risky.
Interesting ideals.
I
Is
can go.
anyone capable of seeing things from a distance? I don't know. What is it? Divination magic is restricted here.
There might be some amongst the mages in the upper ranks that we have with us. For what purpose?
Possible. Would it be possible for them to find out if there are more of these artifacts, or if there is truly just one of them?
My understanding is that without knowing where to look and having inspected the area beforehand, which we haven't really done, such a process is intensely difficult.
I would be comfortable enough offering my services to this forward scout party if they were attempting to go through the sewers to try and keep them safe, and perhaps taking a few of Trigora's men with me, and any among us which might wish to go.
I volunteer.
But I will need some kind of assistance, perhaps, if there is somebody that is able to use magics that might cloak us more effectively.
Timmons.
Oh, I could do that.
Yes, Mr. Shaw. Timmons is behind you.
Stop doing that. Anyway, I believe that you would be very effective helping helping Sir Jethrin in this. Especially if Aubrey and Marina are insisting on going.
I would, of course, be reluctant to have you without myself or Sir Jethrin at your side. I'm also not entirely sure what I could do. I can, I think, help people to be able to see better. And I could maybe make a bit of light. Can you not hear me?
Oh yeah, we hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay.
Oh, Andy.
I mean, I think I could make a bit of light elsewhere. Make it where people could see perhaps a little bit better where there's going.
I believe you are quieter than I am. And it would be very unwise for the three of us to be acting at the same time. If I cannot be there to protect my siblings myself, then there are very few people I trust as much as you do, as I do for you, Timmons. And Jethrin has a habit of being reckless.
It is something that runs in the house, I think.
Really? I don't think so.
Well, young Master Brea, given the last month we've had, I feel pretty confident.
Oh.
2 months? I'm really not sure how to describe the amount of time. It's felt like years, let's be honest. I mean, as you wish, Mr. Gashad. If you want me to go with this group, I will. Well, I am a little bit concerned about the overall plan. I don't see any other way forward.
Remember to be careful and to stick together. Your goal is simply to gather information. Do not take any unnecessary risks.
We have a number of hours until darkness falls, so we have time to prepare.
I'll see what I can do about the limits of this barrier we are in. Are there any questions?
Nope.
I will, if once an hour has passed, I will collect that ring off of my shard, if I may. I will probably use the same spell with myself and Obrea during the mission. So
Yeah, I have a couple of things I would want to do directly before we go, but nothing leading up to that point.
Yeah, same.
yeah, there are some things that I want to do.
As we're walking around and sort of getting ready for nightfall, is there any way for me to like sort of walk along the wall and sort of look? Can I get like a clear visual on any of the people down there and try and like get an impression of their faces and clothes and anything like that?
Your intention is to humanize the enemy?
My intention is to memorize some of the faces and clothing of some of the people that I could maybe pretend to be.
Sure. Go ahead and roll me an intelligence check.
Ooh. What's an 8 plus a 1? So that's a 9.
The distance, you've always had that problem with long distance vision.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just flares up. This is one of those times. It must be someone down there is wearing like horrible makeup or something, and the sun's reflection, it's all messy. It's just.
How dare they not be pristine on an open battlefield? How dare? Yes. All right. Cool.
You could still try to imitate them. It just, the quality of your disguise will be at disadvantage when you go to do so. Or people would get advantage against you.
We shall see. Because I wanted. All right. Yes. We'll see where this goes. Yes. So I was going to use disguise self as the spell.
Yeah, I mean, you've tried. You don't necessarily know how poorly you've done at remembering their faces. That's the awful thing about memory.
Yeah.
But, there will be disadvantages to your disguise.
No. Even with the spell?
Such as life.
That's fair. I'm very bad at disguising myself. I love this character trait. This is awesome.
In the time for, in between or whatever, preparations and all that type of stuff, Jethrin is definitely going to go and try to find Kurt.
Okay. Anybody else have intermediary actions they would like to take?
I think only thing Abrea is going to do since Shay is staying behind is they're going to head over to Shay and be like,
Shay? So we're gonna go. Be very careful. And we'll see you soon, okay?
Okay, be safe.
Okay. See you soon.
and they'll give them like a quick hug, just because of their unique experience last time dealing with their siblings before heading off to the scouting party.
He pats Abrea on the head.
Yep, that's it for me.
Barry's pops up and then pats you on the head, Shay. Kind of climbs up your hair and then boop, boop, you feel a light tapping on your head.
Reach up with one finger, boop, boop, boop.
Okay.
Kashad?
Well, while we have time, I would like to test the limits of this net. So I will I will find some quiet space to myself, and I will cast Summon Aberration with sorcery points.
Okay. I'm going to need you to subtract those sorcery points. You put out the call. You feel the magic take hold. And then the spell gets caught in the net before the creature is actually summoned.
Yep. Hydration is a no-no.
Oh, well, that's all I wanted to do.
That's like half my spell. Not half, like a good third.
Okay.
My brain's a conjure, baby.
Jethrin, let's talk about you and Kurt right after we take our quick break. When you find the aforementioned Kurt Spiderblade, he is in the process of talking to a group of about 20 individuals, and you can see the hands going around as he's very passionately explaining whatever it is that he's talking about. And as you're walking up, he kind of stutters through the middle of this speech, and as you're walking up, you see him kind of calming down a little bit and finishing it as you're walking up, and you see him walk to one of the individuals in the crowd, and he says a couple of things to them, and that person goes and takes their way to the front of the group, and he walks over to meet you.
They look like they're in good hands.
Good enough for now. You look very alive. That's good to see.
Indeed. Thank you very much for the gift.
No offense, but I wish you weren't here right now.
Well, that hurts my feelings.
Why are you here right now?
A number of reasons. We thought maybe our country needed a king, you know. That old chestnut.
Well, way to make a surprise pleasant and unpleasant at the same time.
You know, that was definitely the only reason that I wanted to come here. Couldn't think of another one, really.
Well, why haven't you gotten him out of here yet?
Working on it. Working on it.
The plan is in process, as you say. Well, it's good to see you.
It's very good to see you as well.
Situation notwithstanding.
Do you want to take a walk?
Well, it's a little bit more dreary than the forest, but sure, why not?
Well, you know, I'm sure this is as normal as soldiers can make anything.
It is at that.
And I guess we'll start walking around, having a look at different preparations of what people are doing, just keeping a look on the keep. So I'm glad to see you're alive as well.
That I am. Try as they might, haven't gotten to me yet. Plan to keep it that way.
That's a good thing. You know, while we were away, I learned some interesting information about you, my good sir.
Found out about my underground gambling business, did you?
No, I've known about that for years.
Ah, so you do have something. I don't gamble frequently.
Indeed. Well,
What did you learn?
something you may not be aware about, but I have never, ever trusted the old Archmage very much. at all. And we have learnt from a very reliable source that, well, he may have done something to you.
I'm not sure that I understand what you mean, but I don't trust that guy either. Sounds like maybe you've just got your head on straight.
Well, first of all, in my opinion, it's not a huge deal because, well, I've known you almost my entire adult life, and you are who you are, and have always been who you are. But have you ever questioned why it is that you can hold that big old ginormous sword with such ease? I mean, aside from, you know, the rippling muscles and years of training and...
Give me an insight check.
Sure. Still need to make sure I get good at that some stage. That's a 4.
He just responds, "Oh, I just figured anytime you become the king's bodyguard, fate smiles on you and kicks you up a few notches."
Well, you can take it how you would, but as I said, the news or lack thereof does nothing to change who you are. But apparently, according to our very reliable resource, the old archmage may have infused a bit of a fiendish energy into you.
Roll me another insight check.
Okay. Slightly better. That's a 10.
You can do it at advantage
Thank you.
on this one.
That's lower. That's a 9. So I'll take that 10.
So you notice him pause, which is a bit awkward because you're in the middle of taking a walk. So he kind of pauses for a full second, and it's easy to sense that he falls out of step. And slightly different voice than usual responds to you, and he says, "I wouldn't do that if I were you."
Do what exactly?
Come on. You know him even better than I do. And we both know he's not going to be able to cope with understanding the truth.
Interesting. So, who exactly do I have the pleasure of addressing at the moment?
Give me one moment. He says, "Well, if you don't mind, I prefer to go by my title."
That's fine by me. I mean, technically speaking, we've already sort of been very intimate with each other, so I'll give you a title. Why not?
My title is the Lord of the Slaughter.
Interesting. Well,
That's a proper name for someone fit to defend a king, wouldn't you say?
well, I guess it depends. But I can see somebody being given that epithet if they're particularly good at that facet. So, a question for you, Mr. Slaughter.
Oh, I'm not a knight.
Well, I'm not sure I can call you my lord because you're not exactly my lord. But a question for you. Do you mean this man any harm?
Do I mean him any harm? No, I don't think I do.
Is there anything in particular that you are here for or want?
Well, I was called, and so I came. And when I was told and I came, I was trapped. Now, this Archmage, as you call him, isn't nearly so powerful as he thinks that he is. I freed myself from my chains. I just happen to have taken a bit of a liking to my host. If you want me to go, I'm happy to do so. I'll let you decide. Just say the word.
Where would you go exactly?
Well, suppose wherever I should want, although I imagine you're going to be rather touchy about me going to your country. Perhaps abroad, somewhere on another continent. The abyss is just so dreary.
Do you mean any harm to my kingdom or my family?
Well, I don't mean to be evasive, but I can't say. Your family situation's rather complicated.
I would like to have further conversations with you with regards to issues of safekeeping. But right now, you say that Kurt would not take this news well.
No. But if you don't want to have to tell him, I could just let him go. He won't die if that's what you're afraid of.
Well, the problem is that I don't know what you intend to do yet. And until I have some time to think about that, I don't know how I should deal with this.
I see.
I am not sworn to ideals of individual good or individual evil per se. I do what is best for my family. And what is best for my family is often what is best for the kingdom. The greater good is my concern. And as you have not shown yourself yet to be an enemy, perhaps you and I can come to some understandings at some point.
Perhaps. Although I think I understand you very well. But I get it. It's going to take you a bit longer to understand. Me.
Well, before I get back to speaking to someone who's very important to me, is there anything that you would ask of me?
Just don't tell him. I'm not being coy. I'm inside his head. I'm serious. He can't handle it.
I'll try an insight check on that statement.
Okay. Insight checking a fiend.
It's a lot better. It's a 19.
Okay.
I have no bonuses to insight, but no negatives.
Goodness gracious. Okay. You believe that this creature believes that Kurt cannot handle it. That is this entity's true and proper opinion. They aren't lying about what they think. Whether or not you agree is still ultimately your decision to make.
Give me one moment.
No problem.
Just need to check something quickly.
You're in one of your character's big moments at the moment. So take your time. Think this through.
Okay.
All you have to do is ask him to go away.
This is a hostile game space environment right now.
At
The
this
DM
point
is
in time-
actively antagonizing.
At this point in time, I'm going to go with what Jethrin has stated before, his current mindset. If something is good for the good of the tribe, and no one has actively shown anything to be dishonorable yet, then it fits with his tenets. And he absolutely does not want to hurt this man, so that's why he will want to talk to this Lord of the Slaughter some more at another stage.
Okay.
Well, for now, it is good that we have introductions. and I will abide by those wishes for now. But I would like to discuss things further with you at another stage.
Well, you know where to find me.
I do, but do we have like a safe word or something?
Ugh. I think I'm gonna need to talk to the clerics again. I keep getting these headaches.
I sort of brush his hair behind his ear and dump 5 points of healing hands. That should help with that.
That definitely does ease it a little bit. There's this strange root that the clerics have. You can chew on it, sort of helps alleviate things. Oh, I'm sorry. You were saying you discovered something about me?
Yes. So as I was saying about the Archmage, well, just apparently he did something to buff up your innate strength and capabilities, but without telling you, which is quite rude.
Are you sure? I think I would have noticed if he cast some sort of a spell on me or something.
I don't know. That man is, well, exceptionally creepy. I've always found him exceptionally creepy, and I couldn't stand to be in the same room with him for more than 5 minutes, to be honest.
Well, you're not wrong there. I have to say, though, the man always struck me as fairly antagonistic. I mean, magically buffing up my muscles. I mean, that almost sounds like a good deed. It's kind of strange.
The machinations of that man are going to be lost until we find him and kill him. Did I say that out loud? I mean, find him and question him for deserting the royal family after the queen's untimely demise.
Yes, that was a bit of a jerk move. I'll never understand wizards.
Well, there is something I do understand, and that is warfare. And we are both here in this place under siege. And, well, I'm about to undertake a bit of a stealthy scout mission tonight as well.
Oh, so you found me to ask me to go with you. He kind of gets a big, broad smile on his face.
I would absolutely love to have you with us, but I don't believe His Majesty would be on board with that.
He can come too.
I don't believe I would be on board with that.
Unfortunate.
But should you manage to convince him, you're more than welcome. However, a lot's happened in the month or so. Gosh, it hasn't even been a month for you, but it's been honestly, we went through this whole thing where time has been really weird. We kind of lost 2 months of time in the space of a day. Very weird. But that's beside the point. I'm kind of studying right now.
That's a different kind of root. I don't think you get that from a cleric.
No, you do not. But, and then Jethrin is going to sort of fiddle in one of his pouches and pull out the carved sort of hair braid things, sort of circular end ties. I found something that I thought would make a very good one of these. and you're the only person that have never been good with my words with. It took me so many years just to in my homeland, you give this to somebody that you would like to be with you in a more formal, permanent setting. And I figured that for those like you and I in our profession, permanent could be the end of this mission for me. Or, God forbid, the end of the siege. But I would like it to be longer if we can both manage to stay alive. I don't know if that is something you would consider.
When are you going on your mission?
Tonight.
Well, I'll speak with the king to see if I can accompany you. How about you kind of touch the side of your face. How about you make it back tonight and then we'll talk.
Fair.
Oh God, I'm so sorry. I can hardly think right now. Ugh.
You let me know how often that happens, alright? I don't want you being unduly stressed.
One of the wizards tried to tell me I read too much. Read too much. Can you believe that? I don't think I've opened a book in almost a decade.
Well, we have some time before our mission tonight. Would you like to engage in some training exercises?
I think so.
Well, lead on, my good man.
And he does so. Does anyone else have anything they want to do before the mission this evening? There's no response for the moment, but you believe your message has been or will be delivered at some point. The magic seems to be working. You see the pinned words fade into the page as normal.
Can I try and grab Shay real quick?
You may.
Shay, if you have a moment.
Yes, Miss Timmons, what is it?
First of all, just want to check in with you.
I'm in a keep that we cannot magically escape from nor communicate out for. All that was supposed to be at a meeting between leaders, so I am PG.
Well summarized. it is less than ideal. Also less than ideal is that I am accompanying young Master Abrea, young Mistress Rovina out of the keep, which I don't like, but someone must go. In my absence, I wonder if you could help keep an eye on Mr.
Master
Kashad.
Kashad, yes, I will keep an eye on Master Kashad.
Thank you. I don't think it's necessarily a fair thing to ask of you, but I appreciate the help.
I am assuming out of the choice between the two, he cannot get into any trouble that those two cannot already have gotten themselves into.
I think that's a fair assumption. Honestly, I think that you will have the easier of the two. Yeah. Is there anything you need?
I can think of a couple of things, Miss Timmons, but they are not here.
I keep a pretty well-stocked bag, but I take your points.
Be safe in the tunnels. I will keep Master Kashad not doing anything reckless.
Well, I think that's probably well out of the scope of what is possible, but I appreciate the attempt. See you when we get back.
We'll see you when we get back.
I have some buffs to do as we get into the series proper.
Okay. Save those for next time, because we probably won't get that far into the mission. I just want to do a bit of bookkeeping before that. First, Adrian, high or low?
Low?
Congratulations. You have succeeded in adding one curved spider blade to your mission.
Oh, I'm getting the vapors.
In addition to that, I believe the list is Timmons, Jethrin, Morovina, and Abrea are going.
And hopefully 2 of Goro's men.
So I was getting to that. How many of them did you want to take with you?
Just 2.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't want to use super huge force, but we do want people that can potentially silence guards if they see us before they speak out, you know?
Mm-hmm. So, who is going to be the battlefield commander for this stealth mission?
Simmons or myself, depending. I want to say
you, because I think that this was your proposition.
Yeah. I think Jethrin is definitely going to rely on Simmons' good eyesight as well. I believe your passive perception is very high, yes?
My perception is not that high. I'm more of an insight person, but I will be helping.
Your passive insight, yes. Yeah. Okay. Either way.
So I'll do a little bit of buff for people who can't see in the dark and that kind of thing before we get started.
We've definitely done some good maneuvers together before, so that's yeah.
I need an individual person.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
So, Jethrin, are you sure that you don't want to bring maybe a mage, someone who could perhaps, at a range, cast silence?
We had not discussed that with Delilah, but we could.
That would be my recommendation.
Very well. If we find Delilah, I would like to see if we can requisition someone that has that specific capability.
You're asking for someone with which specific capability?
Someone who's able to magically silence a group of individuals.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check, because you had spoken with Goro, but you as of yet had not spoken with Delia.
It's not horrible. 14.
I have an individual in mind that might suit your needs, but we're going to need to come to an agreement first.
Of course.
I hate to get all eye for an eye about it, but you should guard this mage with your life. Because if she dies, I will find you, and I will kill you.
I would expect nothing less.
As long as we're understood. I will add one of Delilah's mages to your
Master Obrea. I was intending to cast the spell upon you before we leave. It would allow you to be a lot less susceptible to damage, and I would share any damage that you would receive. However, I have been tasked with this woman's safekeeping as well, so I am of two minds. But are you sure? My family comes first. Sometimes I forget you're 12, right? 12, he's 12, right? Yeah. Sometimes I forget you're 12. It is indeed. It is indeed. Makes me happy. Makes me know that we've all been doing a good job. But I do want to rephrase that a little bit as well, Bray. It's not just that we've been doing a good job. You put in so much work to be yourself, and it's evident in your choices. Either way, makes me happy. You know, I believe it. I believe it. So, yeah, before we start the mission then, on the particular mage, I have one more level 2 spell slot, so I will cast Warding Bond on them.
Okay.
So they get a +1 to AC and saving throws, they're resistant to all damage, and whenever they take damage, I take damage.
Okay, so pretty much
For 1 hour, so I will do it as we are getting ready to leave the tunnel, I guess.
Okay, Timmons, go ahead and give me your buffs as well. I'll make note of them now, since Jeffrey has already started otherwise.
Sure. So who does not have dark vision?
I do not.
Okay.
Triple check that. Triple checking. Yep.
You do. Jethrin does, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does the 2, 3?
Goro's men do, but Delia's mage does not.
Okay, cool. Cool. All right. So the first one that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do Eyes of Night. So I will give it to the mage, mare, and Brea.
Okay.
So you now have 300 feet of dark vision for the next hour.
Shazam.
What?
I could not do aid, unfortunately, because I've used Warding Bond twice.
I'm also going to do Vigilant Blessing on Jethrin, so you'll have advantage on the next initiative roll. And as we get actually to the sewer, I will cast Bless for the first time.
Look at you.
Bless on whom?
I'm going to bless Jethrin, Abrea, and Mare. Yeah.
I'm blessed.
Okay.
So the other ones, I think there's not a lot that you see, but for Bless, there's definitely like a Timmons looks a little bit brighter, like the monitor has been changed, not like Timmons is glowing, but like.
I am used to feeling the touch of the divine, and I've never seen this come from Timmons before.
Yes.
All right.
Damn.
Well,
Yes, I was just about to ask.
that is entirely up to you.
Through the
But
sewers,
if you're bringing a dinosaur on a stealth mission, I have some questions. No. So like after the thing that the Sphinx did, No Name Yet is like over 20 feet long. Like they're like big, yeah.
Could we have in the castle either found or created just through the use of like charcoal and soot, like darkened cloaks?
Sure.
Can I use my disguise kit to help this process?
Yes, you can. Give me a disguise check roll, please.
Because Jethrin's fur is white, and we're going out at night.
And I want to cast disguise.
Y'all are really pushing me on these buffs. Like that's why I said let's do this next time. Okay. Cast the disguise self on yourself.
Yep, but I have to do this at disadvantage, right?
We'll deal with that if you come into contact with someone that you tried to fool. I've got it in my notes.
Okay, cool.
What ability is disguise kit based off of?
Make this one dexterity, because the trick is in thoroughly applying everything within the time limit that you have available.
So that's going to be a 24.
Okay, yeah, you do have darkened cloaks.
Nice.
Mechanically, that will negate penalties you might have had.
Good.
Yeah, I took the notes. There are seven buffs that are currently active, and that's just the ones that are going to be from you. But it's okay. I believe that we have ourselves ready for next time, so let's go ahead and end tonight's episode here.
Yeah.